I spent the last 5 years researching thousands of faceless YouTube niches, and in this video, I will share with you the best 100 of them. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Razvan Paraschiv. I got millions of subscribers, made millions of dollars, all thanks to faceless YouTube channels like this one. So this is a Simpsons prediction channel. As you can see, they make a bunch of videos, they post a bunch of content, and as you can see, they've got almost 5 million views in the last 28 days, and they've made over $5,800. Now, these videos are very simple to make, and I know because I've made one as well. My most popular video actually on this old channel of mine is 10 Simpsons predictions that could become true before 2024, and it got almost 2.5 million views, which is insane. Those are not only fun, but you can also make a bunch of money. But maybe you're not a Simpsons fan, so here's another channel that I think could make you a bunch of money, and it's called No Villains Are Safe. This is still in the cartoon niche, but I think they cover multiple cartoons. Some of them are Simpsons, but some of them are SpongeBob, or some of them are just general cartoons. And they've also got over 5 million views in the last 28 days and made around $5,000 as well. Moving on to the next one, Explains One-on-One. This is a little bit more of a serious channel with a serious topic, and I personally love watching this type of videos. What happens when a country goes bankrupt, 7 levels of wealth they never taught you. These are somewhat financial topics, but explained in a very good delivery with sticky man animations. They got 1 million views in the last 20 days, and they made around $4,000. Or maybe you watch a bunch of streams and you like streamers, in which case this next channel called Complex is gonna be the perfect one for you. You can see they make a bunch of videos, they post 4 to 5 times a week, but the videos are rather simple. Despite being 20 minutes long, trust me, those are relatively easy to edit, and if you can make great quality content in this niche and you get 4 million subscribers like this channel got in the last 20 days, you can make up to $14,000. A similar one, and maybe equally funny we could say, would be the stand-up niche, and we have this channel right here called Page Stand Up, with 67,000 subscribers in only 53 videos, and they also started very recently, right? We can see less than a year ago, and they're already getting a bunch of views. This is the first time I saw the stand-up niche, so I think there is going to be a lot of potential, there's going to be a lot of white space, and you're not going to face a lot of competition. Page got 4.6 million views in the last 28 days, and they made over $8,000, which is not too shabby for making clips about stand-up comedy. But let's switch gears here a little bit, and let me show you one channel that I personally watched a ton when I was a teenager. Not particularly this one, but One Point Fresh makes videos about self-development, glow-ups, and looks maxing. If you're a teenager or you're in your early 20s, you probably know what I'm talking about. And these videos get hundreds of thousands of views, anything from aesthetic clothes to hairstyles to how to look max, how to reinvent yourself, winter arc, all that good stuff. On Point Fresh is a great channel with great quality in my opinion, but unfortunately they stopped posting, but this might be your opportunity. Now regardless, they're still getting almost 1 million views every single month, and they're making less than $1,000, and I assume that is because most of their views are now coming from shorts. But if you make long-form content and you're able to replicate their quality, you can easily make $3,000 to $5,000 per month, not to mention all the affiliate deals and all the sponsorships you could attract with a channel like this one. And maybe you don't care at all about those things, but you might be passionate about AI, in which case the AI niche, particularly this channel right here called AI Revolution, is printing money right now. They're getting 1.6 million views in the last 28 days, making over $3,000 from AdSense revenue alone. And if you ask me, despite them looking good, those videos are actually very easy to make. They're short, the thumbnails look alike each other, so you can easily create those videos with AI. And I actually have a similar channel also in the AI niche, but more on the tutorial side. It's called How to Digital. I have over 352,000 subscribers on this one, and I know that not a lot of people are revealing their channels, but I'm here to share all this information so you guys can make money with it as well. So there you go. This channel posts a lot of content, as you can see, and if I take you behind the scenes, you are gonna see that this channel has only made 1,600 in the last 20 days, and if we go to 90 days, it's generated over $6,000. Now, this channel is slowly but steadily growing, but what's important here is that we also make a bunch of money from brand deals. So keep in mind that when you're doing research for your niche, you don't only think about the AdSense revenue, the money that we can easily say, let's track, but also some of these channels, especially in the financial topics or higher end audiences, are going to be able to make you a bunch of money, maybe from affiliate marketing or brand deals as well. Now, going to something more fun that I bet you have not seen before, let's look at this channel called Pirate Times TV in the pirate niche, I guess, right? They're making very interesting videos about pirates and everything that pirates used to do. How they spent the fortune that they stole, how they turned salt water into fresh water, or how they made and stored gunpowder at sea. The quality on this channel is very, very good. And the numbers reflected, in my opinion. I mean, they're getting 1.7 million views and making over $7,000 with only 72 videos, so very good job. A similar niche, but going a little bit more broad, would be Iconic Star Rewind, where they basically make content about vintage movies and vintage Hollywood actors, right? Again, I hope I'm surprising you and I hope I'm expanding your horizons with what is possible with faceless YouTube channels. But this channel right here is making a bunch of money with rather simple videos. As you can see, their thumbnails are very catchy. It's almost just a frame from the movie or a frame from the scene with one yellow arrow. You can easily make this yourself in Canva or maybe using Midjourney for it. And some of their videos are getting hundreds of thousands of views. Altogether, the channel has gotten over 3.7 million views in the last 28 days, making $5,000, which honestly I would say it's way underrated. I think for 3 million views in this niche, they're easily making $10,000 because the RPM is going to be higher than 386, right? Usually people who watch vintage channels are a little bit older, have a higher buying power, therefore YouTube is able to pay more money for ads on those videos. And if you're wondering, how do I know that? Well, let me show you. This channel right here, Vintage Vehicles, is a channel that I started and scaled from $0 to $17,000 per month. I'm going to show you in a second. And then eventually sold. But I was making content about vintage vehicles, right? Anything from rarest car collections to innovations that did not stand the test of time. But let me take you inside a YouTube studio so you can see the actual transparent numbers. As you can see, when I started this in February 2024, we just got monetized. March, we made $300, $1,200, $2,600, $5,000 in 3-4 months. And then we scaled to 8,000, 9,000, 15,000, and it peaked at 17,000, after which I sold the channel. So vintage vehicles, great opportunity. Now guys, next I want to show you a bonus niche. I'm gonna insert a couple of those throughout a video, so look out for them and they're gonna be quite special. So first of all, since we chatted about my channel Vintage Vehicles, there's this other channel right here called Wheels History. And now this is not necessarily different, but they just modeled, they just copied vintage vehicles and they added a spin on it, and it's working quite well. As you can see, they're getting over 700,000 views per month right now with an $8 RPM, which I'm sure, especially now with Q4, it's gonna be even higher, and they're making at least $7,000 per month, which is not shabby at all considering they only started this channel 6 months ago, as you can see. And again, all they did was take vintage vehicles, add their own spin on it, and it's working quite well. Now, I like what they did with the thumbnails right here. They kind of created something new. They took something from another niche and brought it to their own, but this is pretty much textbook execution on how to take inspiration from another channel, make it as good, add your spin on it, and still make money. And another way you can talk about cars would be more so the car tips, right? Or for car fanatics, where you cover videos like, if you have these trucks, dispose them immediately, or these 10 cars will be worthless in 2026, which is exactly what this channel right here called SUV Zone is doing. Now, I know they're making a bunch of money at a given time, but let's see what they're making now. Okay, so they're not getting as many views as they used to, but they're still shy of 1 million views, and they're reportedly making $1.3 thousand. Again, I think this is on the low end. I think they're making at least $3,000 to $4,000 for almost 1 million views in this niche. And just to stay in the car realm for a little bit, let's look at Millionaire Garage, which is another sub-niche of cars, more specifically car collections, right? I'm sure you've probably seen at least some of those videos, whether it be Jay Leno, Ralph Lauren, or maybe Cosby, maybe Max Verstappen. This channel right here is printing money with very easy and fun to create content. They got 1.6 million views in the last 20 days, and they're estimated making $2,700. Once again, I think this is much on the higher end, knowing what the RPMs can be in the car niche. And if you don't like cars, that's fine. Let's talk about motorcycles next. Fastest Way has 250 videos about motorcycles, and they're getting quite decent views. They're covering anything from Harley Davidsons to political news and how that might affect it, and they're also giving you tips to make sure your engine will run like new, again with this video right here. Videos are rather short, very easy to make, not the best quality, which gives you a very good opportunity to go in this niche and up it a little bit, but let's see how much money they're making. Not as much as I remember, just shy of 500,000 views and making $750. Again, this is your opportunity to go into this niche and make something for motorcycle fans that would pay you much better. And there's actually one more channel that I want to show you. This one right here, the Motorcycle Brain. That is a little bit smaller and is a little bit more niche, focused on motorcycle tips, right? If you have a motorcycle, you probably want to subscribe to this channel and you want to see what they're covering here, because I see they give you a lot of tips on how to take care of your motorcycle and so forth. Obviously, I'm more interested about the money and I want to share that with you guys, so let's take a look together. Only 300,000 views. This is probably gonna make, okay, $1,000. This is better than I expected, but I would say this is pretty fair. If you can get 300,000 views, make $1,000, relatively easy content. Bonus niche, guys. Speaking of tips, there's this channel right here called Everything Toyota, which has an interesting branding with Baby Yoda, but this is very similar. And what these guys are doing, have taken the tips niche, right, whether it be car tips or motorcycle niche, and have just niched it down to Toyota, right? There's probably a bunch of people around the world who own Toyotas, and they're only making videos for those guys, or for people who want to buy one. They only started 3 months ago, and as you can see, they started pretty strong. Their first video has over 500,000 views, and it's also their most popular, and since then, they've probably gotten what? Over 1.5 million views. Given a $5 RPM, let's say, they've made over $7,000-8,000 in just a couple of months with a very interesting, very easy to execute sub niche. So the lesson here, or if you want to make something like this, I would definitely not make Toyota, but I would take another brand, maybe BMW, maybe Mercedes, Cadillac. I don't know, I'm not a car guy, but I know some of you guys are, so this could be an interesting opportunity for you. Up it a little bit, you can easily make $2,000 to $3,000, but if you want to make more money, the next niche is going to be better for you. I'm talking about planes, with this show right here called Plane Curious. They're making very good videos with very good production quality, but nothing that you couldn't replicate, I'm sure. And they're very consistent with it, right? They're covering rather smart topics, right? So you wouldn't just binge watch this like, oh, let me see what's up. And they're targeting a much older audience that is maybe interested in planes, as the name of the channel intends, Plane Curious, right? Let's see how many views they're getting in the last 20 days and how much money they're making. But I know for sure there is going to be a better opportunity in a niche like this one, because it's a little bit more selective. Not everybody's gonna watch plane videos, so YouTube is gonna pay you a higher RPM for a niche like this one, and there isn't gonna be a bunch of competition, right? We can see that this channel is getting 1.6 million views in the last 20 days and only making $1,800. This is definitely off. This is definitely skewed. I think the channel is making at least $7,000, if not $10,000 with these views. And this is a good reminder that these Chrome extensions and these tools are not always accurate. You just gotta ask yourself, do I think this is a high value niche? Do I think it's more educated people or people with a buying power that watch these type of videos? And if the answer is yes, the RPM they're going to be looking at is definitely going to be at least over $5, which in this case is reportedly not, but nonetheless, Plane Curious, very good one. And another bonus niche that I have for you guys is this channel right here called Military Curious, right? We just chatted about Plane Curious, and I'm pretty confident that this is the same channel owner. And again, they took something that was successful, they took their first channel, they doubled down, shifted the concept a little bit, and now they're making similar videos, but in the military niche. As you can see, the channel is relatively new, but they're crushing it with the views. Their second video got over 100,000 views. 2 weeks ago, they got another video with 100,000 views. And with just 10 videos, basically, if we see, they got over 500,000 views. I'm not sure they're making a bunch of money right now because, again, they're not posting often. But as soon as they're going to dial in the production and make 2, 3, maybe 4 videos a week, this channel is going to make a bunch of money. In a niche like this, I think there is a lot of potential that you can maybe go into and make something similar, or just execute their playbook, replace plane, replace military with something else that is as interesting or even more interesting, add Curious to it, and there you go. You can have a similar channel yourself that has the potential to make you $3,000, $5,000, maybe $10,000 per month. And something similar, but a little bit more easy to create, maybe if you want to get into, it's this channel right here called Aviatrix. This is still in the planes, but this is plane news, so it's different, right? They're making content every single day, as you can see, so they're posting a volume game, and they're still getting quite decent views on some of their videos. All in all, they're getting 680,000 views in the last 20 days and making over $3,000. So as you can see, in this case, the extension is giving them a 4.64 RPM, which I think could be even higher again, but even $3,000 for easy to create videos, I would say that's not too shabby. Now, something else that I'm sure you have never seen before would be channels like this one, Air Crash Investigation, which I guess the name kind of gives it all away, but they're making rather longer videos and they're creating a little bit more quality by having very good animations and replicating different air crashers. Now, if you think you can watch these videos or create them and still get on a plane, this niche can make you a bunch of money. Particularly at least $4,000 if you can match them, which I think, again, can be even higher. Now, something a little bit easier, I would say, would be airport tips. This channel right here, Jets and Genius, is doing a very good job and has decent quality than most of its competitors. Things like 13 danger signs on an airplane you should never ignore while boarding, or airplane features with hidden purposes you didn't know about, right? These are stuff that are basically instructing you, or usually older passengers, on what to do before boarding on a plane, or how to make sure they don't get denied boarding on stuff like that. And I've seen a bunch of these channels around recently, and that might mean that there is something there to be had. Let's see how many views and how much money this channel is making in particular. 500,000 views in the last 28 days, not too shabby. $1,300. Again, I think it's gonna be a little bit more, but this is something you want to look into, and specifically something with even less competition, I would say, is going to be a channel like this one called Cruise Insider. As you can see, they only started 4 months ago and they already have 20,000 subscribers, and they are in a new niche. I personally haven't seen a channel like this one before, but I spent so much time doing all the research to find you guys the best 100 niches, and this is probably one of the newest ones. They're basically taking what the guys were doing with airport tips, and they are adapting it for cruises. And again, because it's more niche and not a lot of people go on cruises, the audience here has to be more valuable, and not only that, but there's less competition, so they're getting much more views. 855,000 in the last 20 days, and making a whopping $5,500 from it. Not too shabby, very easy to make videos. Now, let's talk about something I think all of us are interested in, and particularly the Billionaire Chronicles, right? This channel right here, it's an interesting combination between economy and luxury, I would say, or like economy and money, but otherwise they're posting very easy to make videos. I think they're using AI to create the entire channel because they're posting a bunch of content, right? They're not necessarily getting a bunch of views per video, as you can see, but once in a while they have one like this one with the richest Indian family in America with 124,000 views. The RPM for this channel has to be very high, but let's see how many views are getting in total and how much money you could make. Okay, they got 1.3 million views and they're estimated to be making $3,000, which I think it's higher, but even if it's just $3,000, you can make those videos very easy using AI, and you are still gonna be able to turn a profit of at least $1,000 to $2,000 for not doing a lot of work. Moving on to something similar or maybe more niche, if you're passionate about jewelry, or if you're a lady watching this video, then you are gonna love this one, The Secret Garden of Gems, which I would say is in the jewelry niche, right? I didn't know this existed until about a year ago when some of our students started a very similar channel. And if you can see, their most popular videos are usually about celebrities, and they're getting hundreds of thousands of views with this rather simple to make videos. I don't think they're getting many views all in all, but again, this is a channel that not a lot of people are going to start, so that is going to allow you to kind of be in a niche of your own, not have much competition, and kind of take all the views for your own. But the potential, I would say, it's a little bit limited. I don't think you can make $10,000 per month consistently in a niche like this one, but if you're looking to make 400,000 views as this channel has and make anywhere from $300 to maybe $3,000, I would say this is still gonna be a good opportunity. And when people tell you that faceless channels are saturated, just show them this channel, which basically talks about stones, right? Like precious stones. It's called Cabo Danao Gemstones, and they also sell an ebook you can see right here. We're not gonna click on that link, but they're basically making videos about sapphires and emeralds, and they're getting quite decent views. 800,000 in the last 28 days and making over $6,000 with it. This is crazy. Like, who would have thought you can have a channel about stones, or of course precious stones, and make $6,000? Well, I guess it's possible, and I can bet not a lot of people know about this niche. Going a little bit more broad, if you're passionate about luxury and you watch this type of content, you should know about this channel right here called King Luxury. They've been around for a very long time. They're posting a bunch of content, as you can see, and they're making a bunch of money. For some reason, I think they've deleted or unlisted some of their videos because this is not really accurate. But even this is, they're making at least $4,000 a month. I think with almost 1 million subscribers, they have to be making more money than that. And they're not the only ones. This channel right here, Wealth Vault, for example, although isn't posting consistently, has some massive videos that you've probably seen as well. Videos like stupidly expensive things Elon Musk owns, or billionaires' most expensive cars even millionaires can afford. This is a channel more tailored towards a younger audience, but As you can see, they're getting a bunch of views, and I'm sure they're making a bunch of money as well. Switching gears a little bit, I want to introduce you guys to the royal niche, which I'm sure none of you have seen before, but there's this channel right here called Boss Story, which, as you can see, makes weekly videos usually about crazy stories, usually from royal families of different countries, right? I'm not sure how they're going about copyright with this one, but since they've been posting over 125 videos, I am sure there is a way to capitalize on the royal fame, basically, on people wanting to see, basically, behind the private lives of royal families and stuff. And this channel right here is crushing it. But a similar channel that does it even better, I think, is this one right here called the Prime Expedition. They're recently making videos about royal news and everything news related, and they're getting a bunch more views than the first one with easier to make videos because they're posting so much more. They're getting over 5 million views in the last 28 days and making over $16,000 with, again, rather easy to make videos, so this might be an interesting opportunity for you. Upping the production quality again, let's look at this channel called Old Money Mentions. Those videos look extremely well made, and these guys definitely know what they're doing, but in my opinion, they're not posting nearly as much as they could, and they're leaving a bunch of money on the table. Otherwise, they're creating extremely good content. I've watched some of those videos myself, and if you're passionate in mentions and old historical stuff, this might be a great opportunity for you. And speaking of good opportunities in history, this channel right here, World War II Tales, is crushing it right now. As you can see, they're getting just shy of 12 million views and making over $74,000 per month. I'm sure this is closer to $100,000 given this niche and what I know about it, but even $74,000 is a record for today's video. Now, I want to show you something that might not be very good for all of you, and I personally wouldn't have a stomach to do something like this, but one of my students actually has this channel called History on Fleek, and they're making videos about torture history. I'm not going to talk a lot about this, but I am going to tell you that the opportunity is good. Again, if you can make this type of videos, you can make a bunch of money in a niche like this, because not a lot of people are willing to do it, but there are some people who are interested and who are curious in seeing exactly what happened and what went wrong during those times. History on Fleek has gotten over 4 million views in the last 20 days alone and made over $26,000, which is crazy. Now, if you're passionate about history, but you don't want to talk about torture stuff, Crunchy History might be a good one, which is a history explainer channel. They're looking at different military tactics and different times in history, and they're making very simple explainer videos. They're not getting as much views as the previous channels, but this might be a very good way to get your feet wet and start your own Faceless YouTube channel. And if we talk about explainer channels, I have to show you this one called The Analyst, or this one right here, Bona, which are making very simple videos, but are getting sometimes millions of views on each and every single one, which I think it's great. The money opportunity is lower. I think any of these channels can be making from $3,000 to $5,000 per month, but if you like this type of content, this might be something for you. Another great channel that I bet you guys have not seen before is this one right here called History Meets Finance, and obviously, as the title says, it's a combination between history times and what happened financially, which in my opinion, it's a genius idea. They're making content about the stupid mistakes that took down Al Capone's empire and the Rockefellers being behind Saudi Arabia's wealth, like very controversial topics that happen in history. And they're getting 1 million views a month making this type of videos, taking home over $2,000. Again, this being history and finance, I'm sure they're making much more money, but this is the absolute lowest in my opinion. And if you want to hit 2 birds with 1 stone, making money on YouTube while talking about money, the next niches that we're going to talk about are going to be for you, particularly Epic Economist. I've talked about this channel multiple times here on the channel, and still not a lot of people have started it. Right now, they're not doing as well from what I can see, but they've slowed down posting. So if you can make videos like this one covering particularly the US economy, or maybe other economies as well, I know for a fact that this channel has generated over $1 million since they started. And another way to approach these topics would be to do what Casual Economics is doing and create explainer videos combined with sticky man animations, but covering these very high level topics. And they're getting 600,000 views, 150,000 views, 2.8 million views. They're posting very rarely. As you can see, they have 5 videos in the last year. So this might be your opportunity to get into this niche and make a bunch of money. Another one that I really like and has very good documentaries would be this one right here called Established Context. They cover economy combined with culture trends, and they're making videos as soon as something new happens, and this strategy is working very well for them. They've gotten almost 1 million views last month, and with a higher PM, I think they're making at least $7,000 to $10,000 per month. Now, let's talk about investing. John Money's Adventures is a channel that I know has been around for years and is still going. They're posting 2 to 3 videos a week and covering very high-level topics. Actually, those are beginner topics, but they approach finance and investing, which is gonna pay you a very high RPM, meaning how much money you can make per 1,000 views. They're getting 1.2 million views a month, making over $7,000 from AdSense revenue alone. And remember guys, with channels like this one, there's gonna be a bunch of money in brand deals and affiliate marketing as well. And I guess how money works is gonna be the perfect representation of that. They've grown significantly. You have probably seen one of their videos. Their most popular are hitting 6 million views, 4 million views. If nobody can afford a home, who's going to buy them? The overdue collapse of short-term rentals. You have to have watched some of these videos and probably have seen this channel. And not only they're making much of money from AdSense revenue, as I was saying with those niches paying a premium, but this channel is probably making tens of thousands of dollars per month from brand deals and affiliate marketing, on top of the 5 million views they're getting monthly and the measly $10,000 they are reported to be making here. I think this number, once again, it's much closer to like $30,000-$40,000. So please keep in mind that not all those estimates are always going to be accurate. Bonus niche, before we shift away from the world of business, which I really like, I want to show you guys something that is not an ideal competitor, so to say, but more so an underdeveloped opportunity that you can go and capitalize on. So the channel right here called The Art of Business, as you can see, they've only posted 3 videos, but they've gotten over 1.3, maybe 1.4 million views between them, and they've got almost 30,000 subscribers, right? So what they did, if you look a little bit at the titles, is why Lululemon is ahead of its time, why Spotify keeps losing money. They're making these finance documentaries or finance analysis on companies, which I think is genius. Not a lot of people are doing this. So as long as you are passionate a little bit about business, or you're a business student or want to learn about business, and you know how to use AI to do all this research and get your facts right, I think this can be an amazing opportunity that not a lot of people are doing right now. If I was to start over again and all I could do was start channels, this would definitely be on my list. So if you're a beginner, if you like business, if you like AI, this is a good opportunity for you, and that's why it's a bonus niche. Now, let's look at something more simple that you don't need a bunch of business or financial expertise to do, like this channel right here, Global Stats. They're making these graph visualization videos. I'm sure you've seen some of them before on different topics, and they're very easy to make. You can use AI nowadays to create those videos, absolutely, but they're getting a bunch of views. Over 4 million in the last 28 days, which is not too shabby, making them at least $3,500 per month. Now, another massive channel that you guys probably know about, but I still want to talk because it's impressive, is this one right here called Magnates Media. You probably have watched at least some of their documentaries, and they approach companies and the economy from this dark truth, right? You can see the disturbing truth, pyramid schemes, the dark truth. They have this kind of dark side of what's going on, but they're getting millions of views on almost each and every single video. And I remember I wanted to promote something on their channel, so I got in contact with the owner, and I think they quoted me $13,000 or $18,000 for one sponsorship. So you know they're making a bunch of money from brand deals alone, on top of the 1 million views that they're getting monthly and the $2,000, which I'm sure it's not correct, that they're making from AdSense revenue. I would say this channel makes easily $50,000 to $100,000 a month. Another similar channel, but one that I think it's much more underrated, and I'm not sure why, is this one right here called Company Man. This is probably one of my favorite faceless YouTube channels, and I've probably watched. They have 445 videos. I've watched at least 100 of them. And if you are someone who's like me, passionate about companies, you want to know the history of companies, this guy right here, or this team, is doing a fantastic job. They have a couple of formats, like why they're successful, what happened in the rise and fall, and they're just making videos about each and every single company, and depending on what's happening in the market. I was actually interested in buying this channel, but nobody has responded to me, so I'm not sure they even do brand deals, but they're getting almost 1 million views a month, making $4,000 on the low end from AdSense revenue, so I'm sure they're doing quite well. And if we're talking about documentaries, we have to talk about Fern, which I'm not sure if you guys know, but has actually been acquired by private equity. The amount was not disclosed, but I'm sure it was 6, if not 7 figures, so more than $1 million. They probably pioneered this style of documentaries, and if you haven't watched one of their videos yet, I highly recommend. Extreme quality, I wouldn't say this is something that you want to do if you're a beginner, but if you're serious about this game or you want to start a media company, taking something like this and covering very interesting topics that can reach millions and millions of people every single time you upload, this is a 6-figure a month for multi-million-dollar per year opportunity. And I would go in a subniche like this channel right here, Zufri, is doing. They are saying they make documentaries for curious minds, and they've got 41 videos about robberies. So they are making documentaries about robberies. The quality is not 100% as good as Fern, but I would say this is an incredibly good start, right? They've got videos with 1.4 million views, and they're getting about 700,000 views a month, making more than $622, but again, still a very good channel. Pivoting just a little bit, I want to show you guys this channel, which is in the real estate niche, right? It's called Discover the Abroad. They have a bunch of videos, and they're making videos almost every single day about news, so similar to what we covered with Epic Economist, let's say, but about the housing market in the US specifically. And these topics, I think they're always going to be of interest because Americans own a bunch of homes, or people want to buy homes, so they want to know what's happening in the nation with the market. Is it crashing? Is it collapsing? Is it a good time to buy? And this channel is serving exactly that audience. They're getting 1.5 million views a month, and with an 11.7 RPM, they're making at least $15,000 to $17,000 per month. And this is relatively a new niche, so you could easily tap into this right now. There is still room. If you don't want to do news but are interested in construction or buildings in general, The Impossible Build is a channel that one of my students used to own, and he was making about $7,000 per month with this channel, and then went on to sell it for $155,000, which is crazy, right? Now, since then, they've declined a little bit, so they're making around $4,000 or $5,000 per month right now, but still, this is how a $100,000 plus channel looks like. And he started from scratch without any previous experience, which tells me that you can do the same. And the great thing about the construction niche or the mega projects niche is that if you play it at the highest level, you can make a channel like the B1M, right? Another channel that is very popular, you guys have probably seen it. They basically cover every single mega project that is going on in the world, and I'm sure the valuation alone on this channel is 7 figures, so this channel is easily worth more than $1 million. And of course, they're making a bunch of money too. 12 million views at the 4.7 RPM, this is at least $50,000 per month from AdSense revenue alone, not to mention that they have 12 links in their bio, if you guys can see right here, so they're probably getting a bunch more views on other platforms, they're having brand new sponsorships, easily making multi-million-dollar per year. Geopolitics is also an interesting niche. Let's look at across the globe, which I think is a good representation of this niche because they're getting a bunch of views. Obviously, their content quality is very high. They're almost making documentary style content, but it's relatively simple to make because you can see 50 insane facts about Louisiana you've never heard. This is a simple topic with a simple execution, simple to do research. AI can help you with a bunch of this, but it's a 30-minute video, and just like this one that you're watching right now, not a lot of people are willing to go make videos about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes. So that could be your opportunity, right? This channel right here, I'm sure it's getting a bunch of views, but let's check. Yes, as we can see, 2 million views at the $6.5 RPM. This is at least $13,000 to $15,000 per month. Great niche right here. And if you like geopolitics, you maybe have seen The Invisible Hand, which I think are kind of the OGs, and they've kind of patented this type of videos, but they're actually making shorter videos of higher quality, I would say, right? So I wouldn't spend much time on this one. I'm sure they're getting a bunch of views. I'm sure they're making a bunch of money. You gotta look into this if you're passionate about geopolitics. Switching gears a little bit, let's go into the military niche, which specifically military secrets drew my attention when I was doing research because of these crazy AI thumbnails. And one more thing that I've noticed, and you've noticed this a little bit maybe if you've just stuck with me up until this point, their videos are always 8 minutes and 8 seconds. I'm not sure what is going on there. I'm not sure why they're doing that, but the videos are pretty good, and I'm sure they're making decent money. They're putting in 2.5 million views with a lower RPM indeed, but they're still making over $7,000. So if you're passionate about this stuff, this might be your opportunity. But let me show you something else, because there's this other channel called Military Mechanics, which in my opinion has a much better quality. They're posting shorts as well indeed, and the other one isn't, but this is making more specific content, I would say. They're going a little bit more in depth. It's for more enthusiasts, right? Or like people who are mechanics or who have been mechanics in the army, so to say. This channel right here also making $3,000 to $5,000 per month. Really good opportunity in a sub niche of military, let's say. Or if you want to go broader, you can start a channel like Front Coast, which I think it's a classic top 10 channel, or at least that's how they started. They're now making these wow videos about military weapons, right? I would say this is the niche, or a military plane, so to say, and their quality is pretty good. They're making $3,000 to $5,000 per month as well. So if you see that, if you are in this gap, if you just want to get your feet wet, if you want to get started, I would recommend into channels like this one and going in a smaller sub niche. And I think this channel right here called the Hidden Menu is the perfect representation of that. Again, I doubt that a lot of you guys have seen this channel before, because they're basically talking about news in the fast food / supermarket chain type of stuff. And again, this is a very weird but very interesting at the same time sub niche that can make you a bunch of money. I checked and they're making about $4,000 per month right now, but at the peak they're making $10,000. And I know there is a lot of opportunity in here because one of my students started a channel and is recently crushing it. So if you want to go into something like this, do your research and pivot into a similar sub niche. Another interesting one, similar but not the same, would be the prepper niche, or like the preparing for doomsday niche, we can call it. This one right here is crushing with this type of videos. The thumbnails look that they're making entirely with AI, so they're probably using Midjourney and Canva to put them together. And they're making these doomsday videos like apocalypse is coming, brace yourselves. But let's see how much money they're making. Almost 500,000 views at an $8 RPM. They're in the $4,000 to $5,000 per month, which is not too shabby given that they're mostly using AI. And if you want to go a little bit more mainstream, you want to have some cable news vibes, this one right here called Frugal Daily is going to be your best spot. If you see, their thumbnails even look like they're from cable news, and they're getting a bunch of views. Almost 600,000, making over $3,000, almost $4,000 per month. Talking about Frugal Daily, this is not too shabby. And if you're stuck with me until this point, then you are in luck, because it's about to get much more interesting. The next couple of channels that I'm going to show you guys, I'm sure you haven't seen before, and I think there's a massive opportunity. Starting with this one, Frugal Solutions, but this is nothing about frugal necessarily, but this is the Amish niche. I personally didn't know that this niche ever existed, where like these people kind of existed, so excuse me for my lack of culture, but apparently the Amish culture is very popular. This channel has videos with 2.3 million views, 1.8 million views, 1.7 million views, and I know at the peak they're making over $10,000 per month. So this is something that you definitely gotta look into. And going on to the next one, maybe as interesting, there's this other channel right here, Inuit Discovery, which basically is in the Inuit niche, right? They've taken the same playbook where they study a group of people and they make a bunch of videos about them. Now this one, I don't think they're a $10,000 per month channel, but they're making around $5,000, which is not too shabby. And once again, they've been able to get videos to get 2.2 million views, 1.8, 1 million, 800,000, which is pretty good. A newer one that also similar, which I guess kind of shows us that we can still start a channel like this if you find a group of people, or if you find something from the past that is interesting enough and you can cover, is this one right here called Viking Times, right? You know, earlier in the video we talked about Pirate Times TV. If you didn't see that one, you might want to check it out. But this one is very interesting. It's a new channel, so they're only making about $1,000 per month right now. But I think they have potential. They could definitely do better with quality, or you could go in and you could be the one with better quality. Okay, the last one that I want to show you, because I think you got the point with these niches, would be the Native Americans niche, right? This channel right here, Native Journals, has better quality than pretty much anything that we've seen in this realm. And they're talking, I'm not exactly sure whether this was like the early 1900s or even the 1800s. Again, I'm not the best historian, so to say, but they're having very interesting videos, as you can see right here, and it's actually working for them. They're almost getting 500,000 views with a $5.5 RPM, so it's a $3,000 per month channel with, again, very limited competition. I guess all of these channels start with this one right here, which is really the medieval niche, right? We have Medieval Madness with almost 500,000 subscribers. They got over 55 million views, so they've made hundreds of thousands of dollars from this channel. But right now, they're not doing as good as they used to. They're not at their peak. So I think all of these channels just inspire themselves for this one, and you can probably use the same playbook. Now, the next one, it's a little bit weird, and you tell me if you've seen something like this before, because I was shocked when I came across this. So I was doing research for this video, and I found this channel called Mystic Voyage, which I guess we could call they're in the DNA niche. And it might seem like they're not really getting views, but if we filter by most popular, they've had some pretty good ones, like 274,000, 193, 153. They have a bunch of videos and they've gotten over 4 million views, which have probably made them like $20,000, $30,000 only talking about DNA and kind of the history of DNAs, right? So the next time you think, oh my God, opportunity, it's kind of saturated or there's not a lot of niches, just remember, there are people making tens of thousands of dollars with DNA channels. Or this one right here called Wild America, which I think it's probably one of my favorites. If I were to make a top 20, let's say, they would definitely make it. I really like their thumbnails. I like their production quality. I think this is really, really good. And I'm personally kind of a sucker for these topics, but they are making very good videos about the old America, I would say, but from an interesting angle, right? You guys know that we've talked a lot about on the channel about vintage America type channels, but this one is doing it differently and it works for them. They've gotten 1.2 million views in the last 28 days and they're easily making over $4,000, again, with very limited competition because not a lot of people are thinking to start these channels, which is why I'm sitting here and busting my ass recording this long tutorial for you guys or long videos so you can see these opportunities and you can go and make money with this. Bonus niche, speaking to Americans out there, or if you are passionate about this, I'm sure this is gonna crush. So there's a show right here called Cinema Cars, and the reason why I didn't include it with the cars niche is I think it's a little bit special. So as you can see in their description, they say that they explored iconic cars from TV shows and movies through original documentaries, whatever, but they're perfectly combining movie clout or people who are movie fans with people who are car fans. So as you can see, they make videos about Batmobiles from the 1966 movie or the 1973 Mad Max, and then they just kind of analyze or make weird facts about those cars. The production is very simple and it's actually very catchy. As you can see, they only use an image and then that catchy arrow, which I think makes it very mass appealing, and it's working tremendously for them. As you can see, they're getting over 1.4 million views, and unfortunately we don't have an estimate here, but we do have an RPM of $4, so they're easily making over $5,000 per month, but I would say it can be even higher, so this is a tremendous niche. Give it a shot. Now, to stay in this wild category, let's look at this one, Animal Quests. They're basically talking about dangerous encounters between humans and animals, right? And I would bet, given the thumbnails, that most of these videos are entirely generated AI. The stories are almost absurd. Like, these 5 Karens got eaten alive by deadly animals. Like, I'm sure this didn't actually exist. And those videos are very easy to make, but this channel is getting over 1 million views and easily making $7,500 per month. And if you want to do the same, I would go in the other sharks sub-niche, like this one right here, Sharks Beware, which are basically using the same type of stuff, but they're only covering shark attacks. Or this one, which I like more, which is called Grizzly Tales, right? Kind of same play, grizzly attacks, ruthless attacks, caught on camera. I would say 80% fabricated, 20% real, making $3,000 to $4,000 a month. And probably one of my favorite animal channels that I didn't even know existed, but I have over 1 million subscribers, is called Extinct Zoo. They're making very interesting videos. They're only posting once a week, it sounds like, but the quality of their videos is insane. But they are getting over 8 million views every single month, and this is all long form. You guys can see they don't have shorts, and they're making over $33,000, which I guess goes to show that any topic, no matter how simple or how easy it might sound, can make you a bunch of money. And an easier place to start if you like animals would be channels like this one called Dinzo, or this one right here called Wallace. I'm not sure if these guys are friends or what's happening here because they look very similar, but they make very similar white background videos on a very specific format. They start with animals, Wallace kind of pivoted into something else, which I guess is an interesting play. If you like something like this, look into this. I think they're making $3,000 to $5,000 per month as well. The next one might surprise you. It's called Anna Wop. I know for a fact that the owner behind this channel is definitely not a girl, and her name is not Anna. I think it's actually a guy, and they've basically done something genius. They took a normal celebrity channel, right? I'm sure you guys have seen these videos, or if you watch some of my videos, we've covered celebrity channels before, but they created a personality around it. And it's not a real personality, it's a fictitious one. But by having a character and by having a little bit of a beachy personality with this character, they've added a lot of value to this channel. I know they've made over $1 million from this one alone, so celebrities is still a great opportunity if done right. More of a normal channel, let's say, in the same niche, but slightly different. I would say Automotive is more drama, this is just celebs. It's called the Urban Noir, right? I know they've been around for a little bit and they cover a bunch of different topics. They're posting a bunch of videos, but they're rather easy to make. They're getting 800,000 views per month and making a $5,000, which I think for this niche, $60,000 a year, I'll definitely take it. Even one more interesting one in the rappers niche would be the Bando, which sub-niche, they only have 46 videos, and I'm not sure what's happening, but as of recently, they started posting way less. They're only focusing on posting one video per week, and in comparison to the celebrity channels that we've covered, this is very little, but they're still very successful even with this low volume. They're getting 1.9 million views in the last 28 days and have made over $17,000 posting one video per week. And the last one before we kind of close this category and move to the next one, which is going to be sports, is this show right here called Tell Us More, which kind of makes documentaries on celebrities. So they've taken this niche and again, like Anna Whoop, added a different angle with these cartoon thumbnails and these documentary style videos. I personally am not a fan of negativity and making videos from the dark side, but there's definitely an audience. They're getting 850,000 views and have made $3,777 last month, which is not too shabby. But let's talk about sports, which I think is going to be a great opportunity because I know a lot of you guys are playing sports, are interested in sports, and are watching sports. So why not make money with the sports channel? One of the greatest sports channels, if you ask me, is this one right here called Nonstop, which has over 600 videos and they're still actively posting, getting hundreds of thousands of views on each and every single video. Their quality is indeed very good, but they also make a bunch of money. They got almost 5 million views in the last 28 days, and with a $5 RPM, this means they're making $25,000 to $35,000 easily. And again, you already know it, with these big channels, they're making at least another $10,000 in brand deals and affiliate revenue as well. Bonus niche, before we go and talk about some other sports, I really want to show you guys this channel right here called Athletic Interest. They talk about sports, they talk about business, and they make documentaries. So this is actually one of the very few channels that I used to watch about sports back in the day. I'm not a huge sports fan, I like to know a little bit about it, but because they combine it so well with business, right, they're merging to passions, they're merging to interest very well, they gain me as a viewer, and they gain 777,000 other subscribers as well, with only 136 videos, as you can see. Now, their videos are very complex to make, but if you are a fan and if you want to create the highest level of quality on YouTube, you want to go with something like this. They're only getting about 300,000 views per month right now and making maybe less than $1,000. But I would say that is mostly due to the fact that they're not posting. I mean, they posted 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, 4 months ago. So this might be your opportunity to go in and capitalize on this. And remember, the most money with a channel like this, and in general with high-level documentary channels, is not in AdSense revenue, but in brand deals. I'm sure they can easily charge $5,000 per video integrations, if not more. So I'm sure this channel generated and can still generate a bunch of money. But that was a general sports channel, and now let's look at more specific sports, starting with Formula Today, which is a Formula 1 channel, and they're actually covering news. They're posting a bunch of videos, like 16 hours, 18 hours, one day ago. I think they're posting 2 to 3 videos per day, and that tells me that the quality, or like how hard it is to make those videos, is not very hard. Their thumbnails look very good, but they're all pretty much the same. And all in all, I would say this is a very good beginner channel. If you're passionate about this and you want to make $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 per month, this is a great start. If you want to take things to the next level within Formula 1, let's look at Daily Fuel Up, which is a more documentary style channel, also about Formula 1. You can see they're posting 1 to 2 videos per week, and the videos are shorter, and they're still very good quality, right? Which I think is kind of what sets this video apart. They've gotten 3.8 million views in the last 28 days, making over $15,000 per month, which puts them at a $200,000 to $300,000 valuation easily, which is very good for a Formula 1 channel. The equivalent of that in American football, if that's what you're into, is this channel right here called Blitz. And I think they're owned by Nonstop, the general sports channel that we just covered earlier. And you can see they also make very good content. They only post 1 video a week, and they're pretty much getting over 100,000 views every single time they upload. They've gotten over 4 million views in the last 28 days. They've made over $26,000, so they definitely know what they're doing. And if you want to start with this, but want to start with an easier challenge with a channel that you could easily make, this one right here, NFL Unveiled, is a much better one. They're making similar videos, only have 12,000 subscribers, and their quality is not as good. So this shows me that you could be somewhere between Blitz quality and this channel and still make $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 per month. If this channel can, you definitely can as well. But maybe it's European football that interests you, and then I recommend looking at Football All Stars, which is somewhat a combination between a celebrity channel and a football channel. So I would say it's a football entertainment niche. It's not a pure football channel, but they're still getting 100,000 views here and there. And all in all, they've gotten over 700,000 views last month and make anywhere from $1.5 to maybe $2.5 thousand, which is not too shabby, right? Sports are usually lower paid, and I know that because I have this portfolio channel called Football Historia. I would say our quality on this channel is much better than the one that we've previously shown you, and this is also slightly a different niche. I would say this is football, and now let me take you inside YouTube Studio and show you the numbers. As you can see, in the last 20 days, we've made a similar amount, 1,600. In the last 90 days, we've made over $8,000. Let's see the year of 2025. So this year alone, 20,000, and lifetime since this channel basically has existed, $28,000, not too shabby. We also got an exit offer. I think someone wanted to buy the channel for $20,000 or $30,000, but we said no, and we continue to run it. Oh, and I almost forgot, probably one of the best football channels. I think this is more entertaining, so this is almost like top 10 viral niche. Is this one right here called Kickflix, right? You've probably seen one of their videos because literally some of their most popular content got 19 million views, 17 million views, 12 million views. This channel has made over $1 million in total from all their videos, I'm sure. And this kind of shows that it's possible even though the RPM is lower, even though you're getting paid less per 1,000 views. But let's move to the next board and let's talk about basketball. This channel right here, Hoop Dungeon, is a relatively new channel, relatively small, 40,000 subscribers, and they're doing a pretty good job. They're posting videos 3 times a day, they're relatively short, so you can make something like this as well, and they've gotten just shy of 1 million views, making them almost $5,000 per month, so great job. A more interesting one, switching towards basketball documentaries, this channel right here posts 2K, right? You can see they're only making videos 2 to 3 times a month. They are usually longer, and the thumbnails look a little bit more aesthetic, which is something that is kind of done in the documentary niche, right? I would say if you're a fan of basketball, maybe you've seen this channel before, they're also doing quite good as well. It had 40,000 views in the last 28 days, and they've made around $5,000, which kind of shows us that quality isn't always an indicator of making more money, right? It doesn't really matter if your videos are the best of the best. There's volume that comes into play, there's niche that comes into play, there's audience, and there's a bunch of things. And the next channel that I'm going to show you, which is in the WNBA, so women's basketball, kind of is the perfect representation of that. This channel right here in particular is a news channel, right? So it's a women's basketball, but I talk about news. And I remember a couple of months ago, we had a bunch of students making $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 per month in this niche with videos going viral around Caitlin Clark. Now, this channel isn't making as much money now, but this shows that even with a new style, kind of lower quality content, you can make a bunch of money, and this niche presents a nice opportunity. And now let me show you something very interesting, which you probably haven't seen before. We have a channel here called Mortal Chess, and they're making chess videos, right? Chess is not as popular as a sport, right, as basketball or football or American football is, but this channel has still managed to get millions of views combined on rather very specific chess videos, right? And it's not the only one. There's also this one right here called Chesstery, which kind of gives you tips around playing chess. So if this is something that you're interested in, I would say you can easily make $2,000 to $3,000 making videos about your passion without showing your face. Similarly, one niche that I came across randomly was this one right here called Poker Bear. And as you guessed it, they're covering poker videos, and especially their first video got 2.5 million views. Unfortunately, they haven't stayed consistent and they haven't uploaded. I mean, they have 9 videos in 2 years. They uploaded another one 3 weeks ago that only got 49 views, so I'm not sure what's happening here, but I would say poker can easily be a $2,000 to $3,000 per month niche. Very easy, not a lot of competition, so you might go get it. Now, something that has more competition, it's also a sport, but I think it's a good opportunity overall, is this channel right here called MMA Zone, in the MMA niche, right? They're posting a bunch of videos every single day. They all look the same. They all look very wowy. And you probably got used to this by now. We know this is a news channel. They're getting just shy of 1 million views per month with a $2.5 RPM, making it from $2,000 to $3,000. If you're passionate about it, go get it. Now, another one that I want to show you, and you've kind of seen by now that within each niche, there's kind of two different sub-niches, one of them being news, but another one being documentaries. Flashback MMA is making MMA documentaries. They're only posting about once a week. They're making rather long videos, and they all look pretty much the same, which kind of tells me that they're using the same format to make those videos, but it works for them. They're getting 1.3 million views in the last 28 days, $2.5 RPM. So again, we're looking at $3,000 to $4,000 with this MMA channel right here. But let's move on and let's go to the next niche, which is WWE, or wrestling, I guess, right? The show right here, Ring Rivals, has over 100,000 subscribers, is posting daily videos, and it's a combination between the news niche, the celebrity niche, and kind of entertaining stuff. They're making very good thumbnails. I mean, those are very interesting, so to say. I would see why people click on a bunch of those, especially for fans of WWE and this audience. They're getting 1.4 million views a month with a $3.25 RPM, so making easily $4,000 to $5,000 per month. And staying in the same area but a different niche, we have the boxing niche. This is a boxing news channel called Fighter's Corner. They cover everything that kind of boxers do online, press conferences, interviews, before the fight highlights. Those are very easy to make videos. We've seen those thumbnails before with celebrities, but let's see how much money they're making. They're getting more than WWE channels with 2.2 million views in the last 20 days and making just shy of $10,000, which is very, very good. I also have a student who's a 17-year-old kid who has a boxing channel, which we're not going to reveal for his privacy, and he's making $25,000 to $30,000 per month. So boxing is definitely a good opportunity, and not necessarily with news, but you could also have a channel like this one right here called the Boxing Code, which is the next niche that we're going to talk about. I would say kind of boxing documentaries, right? We've seen this before. They are making 20-minute videos, a lot of before and after. Their thumbnails are not as good, so this could be your opportunity to step in and to make better videos. And not only that, but they're also posting, I think, like 2 videos a month, and they're not very consistent, but still, they're making $3,000 to $4,000 per month. And if boxing or fighting in general isn't exactly what you want to talk about, then how about golf, right? You can either have a golf news channel, like this one right here, and they're getting quite a bit of views, or you could have more of a evergreen golf documentary channel covering the player's lifestyle like 24 Golf is doing, and this could easily be a $2,000 to $3,000 per month channel as well. Now, we talked a bunch about sports, so let's switch gears a little bit and go to this channel right here called 40 Plus Men's Fashion. Once again, I'm not sure if you have seen this before, I'm not sure if you knew this existed, but I truly think that we kind of have a gem right here, because if you look at these guys' thumbnails, or like this channel's thumbnails in general, I think we can all agree that they can be done much better. They are working for them, which is not bad, but I think we can easily go in, make better thumbnails, maybe post a little bit more videos, maybe go daily, and we could overall do a better job. Overall, they're still getting almost 700,000 views and making over $2,000 per month, so good opportunity. And if maybe you are a lady watching this video, or you know more about women's fashion, there's also this channel right here, which is in the new niche, Style Over 60, right? They make very similar videos. Their thumbnails are looking better. Now we are looking at something a little bit more aesthetic. They're also posting daily videos, so this channel it's a little bit more optimized, and he's also making $2,000 to $3,000 per month. Now, the next one might surprise you, and something that you've seen with both of these channels, it was Men's Over 40, Style Over 60. This next niche is basically the elders niche, right? Especially with this channel right here, Elders Wise Advice. They have very easy to make videos. For some reason, they're not posting consistently, but you can easily come in this niche and do a much better job, starting with thumbnails, maybe slightly longer videos, post more often. But even with that being said, this channel is still making decent money. Let me show you. They're getting almost 900,000 views per month, and they're making over $6,000. And if you've seen these videos and you've seen those estimates, you might say, well, we've seen a bunch of sports channels, for example, who were getting more views and they were not making as much money. This goes back to RPM, right? For this niche, for example, it's $6.85 and can be even higher because, as the name of the channel says, it's elders watching this type of videos, and they have a high buying power. They're usually watching videos for longer. They're seeing more ads. So this might be part of your strategy. Now, another strategy you could employ when it comes to starting your own Faceless YouTube channel would be to go in the big league, right? This channel right here, for example, police fights in what we call the Bodycam niche. And I've had a bunch of people make hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes even per month, with this niche. I would say there is a lot of saturation when it comes to this, but I would say it might still be worth it if you know what you're doing. This channel, for example, got 888,000 views in the last 28 days, made over $5,000, and is just one of many. A similar one in a slightly different niche, I would say the first one was the police videos niche. This is through Bodycam, and they have a bunch of different videos about terrible mothers, Karens, dumb thieves, caught on camera, a bunch of this viral stuff that you can usually see get tens of millions of views, right? This stuff can go extremely viral. And here's the proof. Bodycam Boss has gotten over 4.4 million views in the last 28 days alone and made almost $30,000. A similar but slightly different niche is the courtroom niche, especially this channel right here called Courtroom, that for some reason hasn't posted in 1 year. But as you can see, their videos are crazy viral. 12 million views, 8.3 million views, 11 million views. All in all, with only 13 videos, they've gotten over 100 million views, right? So we are looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, maybe something happened and it deleted some of their videos, but I'm not sure if a lot of people are still making videos in this niche, which might be an opportunity for you to step in. Now, something that we didn't talk at all about in this video would be health and wellness niches, right? For example, this channel right here, Body Hub, has been around for a very long time, and I truly believe it's like a cash cow, meaning they have 1.5 million subscribers, and they're not posting as often as they could. Their thumbnail quality is now very nice, and their videos, as you can see from the small previews, they're very nice animations, working quite well for them. They aren't getting a bunch of views and making a bunch of money, but given that they're posting so rarely, you could step in, do what they're doing, post more often, and make a bunch more money than they're making. And I guess to kind of back that statement up, let's look at this channel, which is Health Today. I would say all this is health tips, right? Goodbye high creatinine, 5 superfoods seniors might have, avoid dialysis, and they're basically kind of giving seniors advice. As you can see, they have seniors in a bunch of their videos on what to eat and how to basically get the most out of what they're eating in order to preserve their health and stay in good shape, I would say. And of course, you already know that because they are making their videos and tailoring their videos towards senior, they're gonna have a higher RPM, but let's see how much money they're making. They've gotten 600,000 views in the last 28 days, and their RPM is almost $7. So as a result of that, they're making around $6,000 to $7,000. So you can see that targeting specific audiences can make you a bunch of money. Bonus niche, religion. And we're looking at a channel called Bible Haven, which you can see with only 22 videos, they are almost at 100,000 subscribers, which is just insane. If we filter by oldest, they only started 3 months ago, and they are crushing it. They're out of the park. As you can see, their most popular video has over 1.1 million views, 666,000 views, 457,000 views, and they're taking something somewhat underrated, right? Not a lot of people are making content around this topic, and rightfully so. I would think not everybody needs to make content around this topic for sure, but these guys are doing it and are monetizing it also very, very well. As you can see, they're getting over 1.1 million views every single month, and in the last 30 days alone, they're estimated to have made over $10,000, which I would say it's fairly accurate. So there's a lot of money in channels like this one as well. Now, the next niche is gonna be very controversial. This channel right here, Mo Tech, I hope that's how I pronounce it, is basically covering conspiracy theories, right? Which I know a lot of people like, a lot of people are watching for sure, because they are making quite a bunch of money for rather simple videos. They've gotten over 2 million views in the last 20 days alone and made over $14,000. So if you like talking about conspiracy theories with your friends, you might as well make those videos and start making money off of it. The next channel is kind of similar, but I would say it's a different niche. This one is in the weird stories, or like supernatural stories, and covering a bunch of mystery stories. I don't know how to categorize them, but they're pumping out content. I mean, look at this, 10 hours ago, 12 hours ago, 17 hours ago. I guess they're posting 3 videos each and every single day. So we gotta respect the hustle, but I think the numbers are even more respectable. There we go, 3 million views, and they've made over $20,000. Very good job. And now, keeping the best for last, the next channel here is gonna be an interesting one, and I think it has a very good opportunity. So it's called the Star Wars Galaxy, but I would not say this is in the Star Wars niche. This is in the what if niche, or at least that's what I want you to take out of it, because while this channel is covering what if Star Wars, and they are making very good money, as we're gonna see here in a second, you can take this what if format and apply it to any series or any show or any movie that you want. This channel is making $3,000 to $5,000 per month, but you can easily replicate this without too much thinking, without becoming an expert in anything that you like, and make a similar amount of money. Now, for the niche 100, let's take a look at this channel here called Matrix Explained. Again, this is not necessarily about Matrix, but I'm personally a huge fan, and if you are, I would say this is a good channel to watch, not to replicate. Instead, what you could do, you could choose another movie or another TV show and make your own explained channel. This channel is making $2,000 to $3,000 per month consistently from something that is the owner's passion, I'm sure, and you can do the same. If you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure to subscribe because I've put a lot of effort into putting this together for you guys for completely free. And if you're interested to learning more on how to execute and how to actually make money with those niches, you want to check out this video right here.